Hi, I'm Veronica Estegua.
My name is Nigel Tut.
My name is Maria Alexa Piccolo.
My name is Kyle Sammy.
I'm Wesley Katie.
Plan.
I didn't plan to move to LA.
A little bit of planning, but a little bit of winging it also.
I completely winged it.
I have absolutely always been more of a planner.
Plan as much as you can, because once you get to the place you want to get to, you're going to be forced to wing it. I planned a lot. I gave myself 6 months after graduating where I worked a full-time job in Detroit. I, saved up money, and then I just decided at the 6-month mark, like, I have to go to LA. I have to start putting my foot in the door. And thank goodness, because of the LA showcase, I was able to sign with a manager. And my manager was like, hey, so when you coming? And so that also kept me on track. That was accountability right there. Now, not all of us, are able to acquire a manager or an agent before you move to your place. So you have to find a friend, find a family member, a fellow artist, anyone, to be like, I need you to keep me on track, okay? I need you to be my accountability partner, because if you aren't moving in a plan, you'll never get out. Seriously, you'll just be stuck in your daydream, or you just want to prepare and save all your little nuts for the winter. But winter is coming. Just gotta keep going. Like I said, plan it and wing it, all right? Shoot for the moon. Worst that can happen is you'll land amongst the stars. So plan, and the worst that can happen is that you don't use some of your plans.
I'm gonna speak from some personal experiences. Perfect planning doesn't always go as planned. I didn't plan to move to LA where I currently reside. Everything I was planning to do was geared toward going to New York. I was working 4 jobs. I was working at Hertz. I was working at I just got hired at Delta. I was going through my last week of training. Timberland, and I was working for the Detroit Youth Choir, who made a 2nd place on America's Got Talent. I was working all of these jobs and getting paid and everything, and I was just stacking up my cheese so I can be able to go to New York, just trying to figure it out. And I felt as though my foundation was solid. I let God review it. He said, it's cool, son, but I got different plans for you. And so things just began to change. I went in, actually was just pursuing my gifts and my talents and actively doing them while I was in Detroit. And also I was working side by side with my brother, Kyle Sammy. And so things just began to rapidly just change in my life. I lost the job. I lost 2 jobs, and the pandemic set in, COVID-19, and I was unemployed. I found myself unemployed and on the flight to LA, And like I said, I didn't necessarily plan to come out here, but things have been, good for me. I live by 2 phrases. The first one being, take the risk or lose the chance. Second one being from George, and I hope I say his last name correctly, George Abu. If I did say his name correctly, please forgive me. He came to speak to my class in 2019, and he told us, don't get stuck on the steps. Get to where you're going. And I always just kept those things within me to stay driven. I would just tell anyone who's planning on moving, who's, whatever you're planning on doing, man, listen, what's for you is for you. And can't no one or nothing stop that.
So when I moved to LA from Detroit, I definitely had a big support system back home, friends, family, coworkers, teachers that all were supporting my move. But getting there in LA, I really only had 1 or 2 friends that I knew of, so no major support system to fall back on. I knew, kind of had an idea of what kind of job I could get to support my bills and rent, and then also still be able to pursue dance and arts and making art. So for me, there was a lot of moving around and getting adjusted and expecting the unexpected and kind of finding new ways to learn how to support myself in a new city and to be me somewhere else. So it took a lot of adjusting, but I definitely think it's so worth it if it's something that you want to do and you want to do it. You're never really going to be ready. Why not just go for it? I think you definitely should have a little bit of planning, but a little bit of winging it also. I would say plan enough to where you feel stable, maybe financially. Also be willing to wing it and to change your plans and to be flexible enough to where you can stay open so that if something better comes along or if something else might be a fit for you, you can give that a try too. So, I mean, that's the fun part of it. So I would say it's a little bit of both.
When I moved to LA, I completely winged it. I'm not gonna hold you up. I completely winged it. When I moved, it was at the height of the pandemic. May 31st was the day I landed in LA from Detroit. And yeah, I had about $200 to my name. But it's one thing that I pride myself on, and that's the fact that I'm a man of faith. And I just really believe that God led me to LA. And I was just confident that I was gonna be able to flourish here. I moved at the drop of a dime, and it was shocking to my family and my friends and just everybody who I told. But you know what? Even though it was probably the hardest decision I ever had to make, it's the most rewarding decision that I've ever made. And I'm extremely happy that I made this decision. Would I suggest this to people following my footsteps or trying to go the exact same route as me? No. I wouldn't suggest that just anybody and everybody wing it. I feel like if you can make money, have some money set aside, if you can save that up, do so. If you can find a job before you move in the place that you want to go to, do that. Like, get that job, have that set in order. If you can find a place, have that all set in order before you move. But never let comfortability or lack thereof kill your progress. Never do that, because one thing that I've learned is that you'll never be comfortable, fully comfortable in every decision that you make. It just won't happen. When I moved, I questioned almost every decision that I made, but I truly believe that if God brought me to it, He'd bring me through it. And that's just how I operate. And you know, people try to make up these pessimistic scenarios, like, what if I fail? What if I go broke? What if my dreams don't work? I've gone broke before. I've failed. Not all my dreams came true, but I'm still here. I didn't die. And I truly believe that if you have breath in your body, then you have purpose. And nobody can fulfill that purpose but you.
I am very, very lucky in a way that not many are, in that I actually grew up in New York City and still have family in New York City, which is where I'm currently working and where I moved after grad school. So I had a support structure in place when I moved to this city. And it really gave me the opportunity to pursue my art with a safety net that, you know, not many people are lucky enough or fortunate enough to have. I, however, can say that I have absolutely always been more of a planner. I think you have to be in order to pursue the arts. Not necessarily you need to have every step of your life planned out and every single moment of the day, you know, planned to a T. The business we're pursuing and the art we're making should be taken as seriously as anything else in life, any major life decision. So for me, it's always better to plan things out, to put in place your own support structure if you need it and if you can. New York City is not the easiest place to live. It's a city that will offer you all the opportunity in the world, but you have to make sure you're ready to take those opportunities when they come. And you know, part of that means having a plan in place. I would highly recommend, you know, at least knowing the basics before you move to any city, whether that be where are you going to live, you know, how are you going to make money. I would highly suggest you want to at least start searching out what that might be when you move to the city.